morning, and welcome back to the show. I'm your host, William Bart. This is the News Hour. The News Hour. I'm going to call it that. I don't care. I mean, poo-poo on those other guys that already have that show name. I'm calling it. It's generic enough. They can't have it. They can't have it for themselves only. So, I got this for you today. There's been revelations in the Georgia election fraud case, and it's turning out to be what we all expected it to be. Unfortunately, I'm not finding much recent reporting on the news about this. The latest thing on ground.news was from May 31st. Oh wait, no. My bad. July 12th. Former Georgia insurance commissioner sentenced to prison after pleading guilty to healthcare fraud. That has nothing to do with it. So, I'm having to go over to Twitter, X, and there's a few things over here that I want to show you. This is from July 16th, Josh Dunlap. Georgia's election board now admits to violations of election law in 2020. It's over for the election fraud deniers. This is a letter from the Georgia State Election Board to Joseph Rossi. I don't know what that is. SEB 2023-25. Maybe that's September. 25th of September 2023. Or maybe... Oh wait, no, State Election Board. That makes sense. So, as a courtesy, you are hereby informed that a matter regarding which you provided information to the State Election Board is on the agenda for the board's meeting to be held on May 7th, 2024 at 9:30 a.m. The meeting will take place at the Georgia State Capitol, room 341. You are not required to attend, but are welcome to attend if you wish. Only the respondent, as the party who is accused of a violation, is entitled to be heard on the allegations. The respondent, as the party accused, but no other party or parties, will be afforded the opportunity to offer input for the board to consider in determining whether a violation was committed and the disposition of the matter. The matter involves allegations that were investigated by experienced investigators. During the investigation, the investigators considered facts initially supplied when the matter was opened and any other relevant information obtained and developed regarding the allegations. The investigators have prepared for the board's exclusive use as a written report. The board's exclusive use of, of a written report, which is provided to each of the board members to review and study prior to the meeting. The report contains, where appropriate, an evaluation whether the respondents violated either state election law or state election board rules. At the board meeting, investigators will present to the board the findings of their investigation. The board will make its own independent determination of whether there was or was not a violation. The board has separated complaints that will be heard at the meeting into two groups. We get all that. You can read this on pause if you want. So that came out. And then also this from Josh Dunlap. Election fraud. Georgia State Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger is withholding evidence of election fraud from the State Election Board. Of course he is. Now I find that Exhibit 11 is still not available. However, we can make the files available for inspection so long as the board is in agreement that this case is fully resolved and closed. I'll just go ahead and read it. Charlene's email states that my request would be treated as an open records request, but I did not receive a response. I called Sarah Koth yesterday, and she had investigator Gil Humes give me a call. Mr. Humes said that the images will be available for me to review next week. I still do not understand how Exhibit 11 was listed in the case summary, which should have been available for all of the board to review well before the meeting. Now I find that Exhibit 11 is still not available. This exhibit was repeatedly referenced during the investigators and Ms. McGowan's presentation, Please help me understand how an exhibit can be listed, referred to, and questioned about, yet I am still unable to see Exhibit 11. The viewing of Exhibit 11 ballot images does not fully resolve or close the case. Thank you, Jan. Thank you, Jan. Dr. Johnston, I have discussed with the chairman your request that the electronic ballot images provided by Fulton County in response to a subpoena in the referenced case be provided to you on a flash drive. The chairman and I agreed that the request can be treated as an open records request, as we would respond to any ORR open records requests for these files. There are both chain of custody issues and security concerns with allowing electronic copies of election data files to be distributed among the public. Until I am sure that the files do not have any other data associated with them other than the ballot images, they cannot be released. However, we can make the files available for inspection so long as the board is in agreement that this case is fully resolved and closed. As I've said, this office keeps State Election Board investigative file materials confidential until the case is fully resolved and closed. If 2023-025 is a closed case, we can make them available to you to review at your office. You could schedule this inspection with investigations. I would just ask that you limit the time involved to a few hours a week so that it does not disrupt their regular job duties. Yeah, of course. Of course! Of course they are withholding evidence. This reeks of that being done. You don't just say, oh, we have them, but we have the evidence, but we're not going to give it to you until after the case is closed. That's withholding evidence. And here we've got some video evidence.
You guys want to sign the guest register?
We're not going
So we can say we were physically here?
We did go up to the clerk and drop it. No, I believe.
You guys want to sign the guest register?
I'm not sure what's
So we can say
happening
we were
there, but
physically here?
We did go up to the clerk and drop it. No, I believe.
You guys want to sign the guest register?
We're not going
So we
away.
can say we were physically here?
We did go up to the clerk and drop it.
yeah, I'm going to be honest. I'm not entirely sure what's happening there. If anybody could explain this to me, I would greatly appreciate that. Yeah, I was just looking for anything related to this, and I found this. It looks suspect, but I don't know what that woman is doing with those ballot boxes. I assume there are ballots in that box. Moving along to Real Robert, and here is the other criminal running loose in the state of Georgia, Democrat Governor Brian Wimp, on August 15th, 2023, responding to President Trump's Truth Social post about the 2020 presidential election by stating nobody has come forward with evidence of election fraud. Almost 2 years back in time, on February 18th, 2022, 40,000 plus sworn affidavits detailing the overthrow of the U.S. government during the 2020 election were personally hand-delivered to his office. The future of our country is at stake. 2020 and 2024 must be our focus. And here we've got Brian Kemp saying the 2020 election in Georgia was not stolen. For nearly 3 years now, anyone with evidence or fraud has failed to come forward under oath and prove anything in a court of law. Our elections in Georgia are secure, accessible, and fair, and will continue to be so as long as I am governor. The future of our country is at stake in 2024, and that must be our focus. Donald Trump said on his Truth Social, a large, complex, detailed, but irrefutable report on the presidential election fraud which took place in Georgia is almost complete and will be presented by me at a major news conference at 11 a.m. on Monday of next week in Bedminster, New Jersey. Based on the results of this conclusive report, sorry, I should read this in his voice. Based on the evidence of this conclusive report, all charges should be dropped against me and others. There will be a complete exoneration. They never went after those that rigged the election. They only went after those that fought to find the riggers. Rigmarole. Oh, and there's that same woman. What's the deal with this? What? Okay, this is more footage.
So we just say we were physically here?
We did go with the clerk one Friday.
I think we should. I don't think we should go.
Oh, it's a different woman.
Alright, so there's back in the box. Any old box, I guess.
Huh.
Hey, we're in the governor's office and they're telling us they want us to take them to, Butch Miller, to, Jones, and, the other one that anybody that it's addressed to is who they want us to deliver the boxes to, but nobody's up on the third floor.
Interesting. I still don't fully understand what's going on in this footage, but again, if anybody wants to explain it to me, I'm more than welcoming. I'm more than happy to hear your explanation of what exactly is going on in that footage. Both Kemp and Raffensperger need to be charged with treason along with any other crony that helped in the coup. According to Politico, in 2020 in Georgia, with 60,000 votes to count, Trump led by 18,540 in the 13 counties with votes out. Biden was projected to receive 57.5% of the votes to 42.25% for Trump. This would project to a Biden pickup of 9,300 votes and a Trump win by 9,240 votes. Biden won by 11,779 votes, so he proceeded to get 78% of those 60,000 votes, of which 8 of the 13 counties were won by Trump. Plus, a number of military absentee votes were expected to favor Trump. Okay, it defies probability. The grammar in that paragraph is a little off. Please learn how to speak English. And we got some more footage. The truth. This is from DC Drano. The truth about Georgia election fraud is finally coming out. 2020 was stolen, and anyone who's ever been to Georgia knows it ain't a blue state. Not even close. But Fulton County is corrupt as all hell, and Brian Kemp and Georgia Secretary of State did nothing to expose or stop it. And here it is from Real Robert. Here it is. And here it is. I'm going to say that more times. Many more times. And here is Georgia Election Board confirms beyond the shadow of a doubt: A. Fulton County is missing 380,761 ballot images. B. Fulton County failed to verify signatures for 148,000 ballots. C. Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss double-scanned ballots. And D. Fonnie Bang Bang Willis was in fact duplicated to the district attorney's office. In other words, Fulton County violated Georgia state election laws.
Does the investigation confirm that there are missing ballot images?
Yes.
Yes. Do you know why 380,761 ballot images from Election Day machine count are not available?
We subpoenaed Fulton County for all of their ballot images. We received approximately 518,000 ballot images.
From Election Day?
Those were for the recount.
Those are from the recount, but we have no ballot images
They need to
for
fix their audio.
380,761 ballots from Election Day,
Feedback.
correct?
What was subpoenaed was the ballot images for the recount, because that's what this case was about, not the election day.
Does Fulton County know why there are not 380,761 ballot images from Election Day?
Yeah, tell us why.
As with the investigators, we have not been apprised of this allegation. This is the first I'm hearing about it. I have no idea what the basis of that allegation is, and so we would have to we can't answer that at this time.
Would Fulton County agree that every vote should have a ballot image?
Every vote should have a ballot image. I mean, is that not something reasonable to expect for ballots that are submitted? All ballots matter. Come on, guys.
You know, somewhere along the line, and I am sorry, I can't remember exactly when it was, but I had asked the question, well, okay, well, what did we do for signature verification? And the comment I got back was, which frankly at that time floored me, was, well, we didn't do any. And I remember I forget where I was, I was on a phone call, I forget exactly, and I apologize, it's been so long. But, I do remember that comment that, we didn't do any. Now, of course, I took that saying, all right, well, by law, you've got to do signature verification. You've got to at least have somebody looking at this. And one side of that is that whomever you have that is looking at and supposed to be, verifying signature, that if there is no signature on the oath envelope, then how are you curing it, or what are you doing with them? And I remember going down, on from that and said, well, there weren't many, so we just sent them back out, and if they reply on time, then they'll get their vote counted. Well, I thought that was a little weak, but anyway, that's as I recall, that's what I was told.
All right, sir.
Those are primarily, ladies and gentlemen, that was primarily in my mind and in my reasoning, why I was not comfortable, in certifying.
Yeah, you gotta have chain of custody and signature verification, along with requirements for identification. Those are three very important things that you need to verify a vote.
Was placed there.
And let's watch this other clip. It's looking damning for the Georgia State Election Board.
Was placed there by the lady with the blonde braids at about 8:22 a.m. in the morning. So she put that table there. So the same person who's staying behind now, the same person who cleared the place out under the pretense that we're going to stop counting, is the person who put the table there at 8:22 in the morning. Yeah, I saw 4 suitcases come out from underneath the table. Yeah, upper right hand, you see the gentleman in the red. So he just pulled one out. So what are these ballots doing there, separate from all the other ballots? And why are they only counting them whenever the place is cleared out with no witnesses? Is the question. So these machines can process about 3,000 ballots an hour. You have multiple machines there, and they're there for 2 hours. So you do the math. How many ballots went through those machines in those 2 hours when there was no one there to supervise, to be present, consistent with your statutes and rules? Was placed.
Yeah, I remember that. This is what people were talking about with the why are they putting ballots in coolers? And I could see it now. That definitely looks like they had them in coolers. Like those Coleman coolers with the handle that you can extend, and then you roll it around. That's a Coleman cooler.
And
then we'll go on to the next one.
And if you think that maybe that's just a a mistake or just a coincidence, here's the next one that shows. You can see Republican is written there, Republicans written there. This is ballot 61. This is ballot number 2, and then each one of them even has this little dot in the Fannie Willis.
Okay, and do you have more of those?
We have the entire batch. There's 62 images in here total, and I didn't even get a chance to go through all of them. but these are the most obvious ones where it's clear that it's the same. This one's got the little tail on the side.
And so what happened? So do you know
That
the
is
numbers
so
of these whole
sloppy.
batches?
That looks like they just copied and pasted the images to make a new ballot, like printing. It's almost like they printed these out or something. That or somebody, the same person, just filled in the circles themselves.
Just like,
I don't remember what the totals were when the batches. I don't think they weren't disparate. They were fairly close. But the simple fact that they
so if
occurred.
you see that little bubble right there, this is one image. Here's another image.
Exactly
See,
the same.
exact same. And the batch number, was it 5162?
Also, scanner 5162.
Okay, scanner.
Batch number 235, image number 92, matches the same scanner 5162, batch 234, image 33.
So there you have it.
Man, that is-
Duplicate ballots. The entire batch
We are
is
dealing with
scanned several
evil
times.
corruption. Evil corruption that is also incompetent as all get out. And there you have it, folks. So the Georgia State Election Board committed election fraud, unfortunately, and now they must pay the consequences. All right, well, I'm about to go start recording the next segment for 1 p.m. Please stick around for that. I've got a banger of a story coming up. I'm not going to tell you about it here, but you know, on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z, I mean the News Hour, I'm gonna have it for you. Anyways, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and tick the bell for more if you like what I have for you. If you like my content, and whatever you do, don't have a bad day, and I'll catch you later.